My name is Sloan.
And my name is Katrina. And we're here with Caitlin Meggs, and she works for Cirque du Soleil.
So what is your position at Cirque du Soleil?
My position is head of artistic training.
So what do you do for that?
I do a lot of things, but my main role is to plan and organize and implement and do the follow-up of all the artistic training for the company. And I would say the main part of our training is for acrobats. And we also train all the professionals that come in, singers, dancers, actors, and clowns.
So I'm doing acro gym now, so
Okay.
do a lot of people go in from that?
Well, we do have quite a few numbers in our shows that is acro sport based. Yeah, we have quite a few numbers. So yes, there are some really fine artists working with us from that discipline.
So where do most of the performers come from?
They come from all over the world, actually. Yeah, from a lot of different countries.
So what would they need to train to be able to apply for Cirque du Soleil?
Coming from a gymnastic background, just to be very strong gymnasts, that's already a really, really good base. If they're coming from a circus world, they're already in circus arts, then already they probably have certain specialties, like they work on a particular apparatus. So if they're a specialist on an apparatus, then they can apply to Cirque through the casting. I think we have a website, casting, and they can connect with those people and submit their candidature.
Do all the acrobats learn dance training?
Yeah, pretty much everybody has movement and dance training, because dance is kind of the marriage that works really very well with acrobatics. But we also try to focus on just natural movement, so it's not too much of a style, because we want, the acrobats won't have enough time to become professional dancers, so we want them to learn something a little more natural so that they feel comfortable and can be themselves, which is why we concentrate a lot on contemporary dance more than, let's say, classical ballet.
So what is your background?
My background is primarily dance. I was a classical dancer, and then I was a contemporary dancer, and then I became a teacher and choreographer, and then I joined the Cirque. And I had a formal classical ballet background. I went to the Royal Ballet School in London, England, and then the National Ballet in Toronto. I danced with the National Ballet of Canada.
So how did you go from being a ballerina to teaching acrobats?
After doing ballet, I had kind of a serious back injury, which led me into modern dance, which is a little more natural, more organic. And when I was doing modern dance, I worked with a dance theatre company in Toronto, De Rosier Dance Theatre, where we did very theatrical productions. I applied to Cirque and they hired me to give auditions, and then they asked me to come and teach their acrobats dance. So I started to do that, and the world of Cirque is quite theatrical, but I had already made that transition in a way from ballet. I wasn't coming right from the ballet world into the circus world. I had already gone through dance theatre, and then I arrived at circus.
So how do you teach the acrobats to become stage performers?
We put them in what we call an immersion the first 3 weeks, where they have a lot of hours of workshops, like maybe two hours of workshop per day in different disciplines like theatre, meaning acting, dance, voice, singing, percussion. That's pretty much the subjects that we cover, and we kind of throw them in the deep end and give them really intensive workshops for the first 3 weeks, also taking them almost to a performance level by the 3rd week, so that they're on a stage with stage lighting and kind of improvising. So it's a big shock, but it really helps to open up the acrobats very quickly, especially if they're coming from a purely sports world. And then after that we go more into teaching the technique, like dance technique or acting technique. Those are our main 2 artistic disciplines, and we also touch on percussion and rhythm, because it's very important for the artists to have a sense of rhythm and musicality.
So what's the most important thing they have to remember when they go on stage?
Well, they have to remember to be themselves. We want them to really be themselves, and we want them to communicate with the public. Because when you buy a ticket to see a show, you want to be entertained, you want to receive something. So the performers have to be able to communicate and connect with the public. So that's the most important thing, is that when they come on stage, they have something to give to the public.
So which Cirque du Soleil shows have you worked on?
I touched on all the existing shows that we have running all over the world, and I also do the artistic training for all the new shows that we're building, all the new shows we're creating.
What age do you tend to work with?
Well, primarily young adults, like anywhere from 18 to 25. It's often gymnasts who have left their career as a gymnast and they want to try something else. So usually it's early 20s, I would say.
Is there any people that just have a dance background that join Cirque?
Yes, absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of specialists, meaning the large portion of our artists are acrobats, but we also have professional dancers in our shows. We have professional actors, we have professional singers, we have musicians, we have clowns. So those are our specialists. So we also will coach them to learn their role. It won't be the same level, obviously, of the type of training they're going to have. An acrobat will learn basic dance, whereas a professional dancer has to have their top-level training for the role they're going to play, what they have to learn.
Do the performers tend to always work on the same show?
Usually they stay on a show for a while. Let's say they have their first contract at Cirque, they might work on that show for anywhere from 2 years to 5 years. They maybe go from a resident show to a touring show. A resident show is a show that is in one city, like in Las Vegas. We have resident shows. A touring show is going to travel around the world.
Thanks so much for coming.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
See you later after for a feast. Bye.
Bye.